Welcome everyone to Shopventory 101. My name is Jacques. I'm here with my faithful co-host, Mr. Joe Barlow. So today we're going to be going over Shopventory 101. Let's do a quick outline here. So first off, we're going to start with a quick overview of the company, who is Shopventory, and then we'll do a full guided tour of the app itself. And then we will have time for Q&A. If you are joining us here live on the Zoom app, you should see there is a Q&A button right there in the app. So feel free to use that here as we go. We will be taking questions here towards the end of today's session. So real briefly, Shopventory was founded in 2012. We manage well over $1 billion worth of inventory worldwide. We are based in the US. Our plans start at just $1.30 per day, and we do offer a full feature 30-day trial as well as a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're just looking at Shopventory, thinking about signing up, we do give you 60 days risk-free to test it out, make sure it is the right system for you. Now, some of the key benefits of Shopventory is that everything is all in one place. It is that central hub for your inventory management and reporting. We find the average user actually saves over an hour per day per location. By the way, setup is very easy. We can actually import the inventory data you already have. If you have a Clover or a Square or a Shopify, for example, and you already have your inventory set up just the way you want it, that's fine. You can connect Shopventory, we can pull that in, and you can pick right up where we left off. So some of the other benefits here, very detailed reporting. Shopventory gives you things like your total value of inventory at a glance. For those of you cafes, bars, restaurants, we do have ingredient and component tracking. You can also build things like gift baskets or partial items such as a glass of wine versus a bottle. So definitely helpful stuff there. And of course, reporting on what do we have too much of, what do we not have enough of, what's profitable, what's not profitable. In addition, we have things like one-stop purchase order and vendor management in Shopventory, built-in label printing, so you can print out a barcoded price tag, as well as inventory forecasting on our professional and elite subscriptions, and daily syncing to QuickBooks Online is also available. Now, we do also have alerts to help reduce your stockouts. We, by the way, now offer purchase or par levels as well as reorder quantity, so you can set your minimums and your maximums, and Shopventory will let you know when it's time to reorder things. And you can automate part of that on our purchase orders here. Also, user accounts with access controls, so you can set up different accounts for each of your employees. Each person can have his or her own login, and they can access Shopventory, and you can keep tabs on that. You can also restrict what they can and can't access. We do also, by the way, have live help. So we have actual human beings available inside the Shopventory app. We speak English, Spanish, and French. By the way, if you are just joining us here, please do be using that Q&A button. We will be taking your questions here. We will also be posting a video of today's session in our help section here. So again, be using that Q&A button here as we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at Shopventory itself here. This is one of our test accounts that we have set up for this. Let's actually zoom in a little bit there. Oops. There we go. All right, so this is what Shopventory will actually look like. This is when you log in, you'll see the dashboard is there. And by the way, right away, I do want to call your attention to this little chat button here. That is what I mentioned as far as live in-app help. So you can see we have actual human beings here in the office. You can start a new conversation. You can also find quick answers here to any of our questions. We have a full guide to just about every function of Shopventory in our help docs. So feel free to search for that. Also, if you're not sure how to use the live chat button, we have a nice little guide here to walk you through that functionality as well. So definitely a lot of resources right away in the palm of your hand inside of Shopventory here. So this will walk you through. And sorry, things are a little slow when doing the screen sharing via Zoom here. So the dashboard, this is going to be a bit like the dashboard on your car, just to give you some quick insight on how the business is doing overall. You can also filter this by location if necessary. This little panel here, we can go ahead and expand that out. This panel actually has answers to the most common questions. So if you're ever stuck, just click on that little blue question mark up at the top as well. All right, so one of the things about the dashboard is it does let you know when products are running low based on alerts. So alerts can be set up over here in the alerts section. By the way, you can just click on that little hamburger menu at the top and it'll expand it out so you can see all the different sections of Shopventory and their labels. Alerts, pretty straightforward here. I can just set up what we call condition-based alerts inside of Shopventory. So if I expand this out here, we actually do have a video introduction to the alerts function that you can check out, and it plays right there inside of the app. Sorry, I don't know why the, oh, interesting. Oh, sorry about that. This is why we do this live here. I know that is here in our help section, though. I will go ahead and pull it up here. So if we just go back, we can go ahead and do alerts, and we'll find a step-by-step guide complete with a video in here as well. So I can actually play the video right here from the chat window. I know we've been making a lot of updates to some of our videos here, so it looks like we may have missed an updated link on the alerts page. There we go. That's what it should look like. So yeah, this video will play right there. It'll walk you through setting up the alert. Alerts will let you know when you're running low. So alert is, hey, I want to be notified when it hits this particular threshold inside of Shopventory. It is a difference between alerts and par levels. I'll go over those in a bit more detail here, but definitely feel free to check that out. Basically, I can say, hey, when a product matches these conditions, I want to know about it. So we will send you an email at that point once the product matches all three of those conditions. In this case, the quantity has to be less than or equal to 25. The category name has to be the word soda, and the product name must contain the word diet. So anything that has the word diet in it, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Dr. Pepper, if it's in the soda category, has the word diet, and is at 25 or less, it's going to trigger an alert for me. All right, so moving on, we'll go ahead and touch briefly on the reports available inside of Shopventory. So the reports is going to be this little bar graph here. And so based on alerts, we can pull up the low inventory report. This is going to show me anything and everything that is running low based on my alerts or par levels. So from the previous screen, this is Diet Coca-Cola, which is in the soda category and is currently at a quantity of below 25. And you can see we have our par level in there as well as reorder quantity, which you can set. And this, by the way, is exportable to PDF and CSV spreadsheet. So that applies to all of our reports. And just a reminder for those of you just coming in, do be using that Q&A button here. We will be taking your questions here in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other reporting options inside of Shopventory. So first off, we do have our sales reports available. The sales report, this answers the question, hey, what sold over such and such given period of time? And by the way, you can close this little menu here to give you a bit more real estate. So you can select your location, your date, so you can customize a date range. We have some preset options here, but I can also just go back and say, hey, from this day to this day. So if you select a date range, it will give you that particular date range. Now, here you can see we have all the main information here: net sales, gross profit, transactions, number of products that sold, even some of the lesser known things. So things like tax collected, refund amounts, shipping, refunded shipping, tips, transaction fees, if your provider gives that to us here. All of that is reported inside of Shopventory. Now, anytime you see a chart inside of Shopventory, whether it's on a report or on the dashboard, you can just mouse over it, or if you're on a touch screen, you can just tap that with your finger and it'll show you the details contained in that chart. You can also search and filter for products here. So if I want to say, hey, Shopventory, how many chocolate chip cookies did I sell? As soon as you start typing, Shopventory knows what to look for there. You can also, by the way, filter by category here. So if I want to say, hey, I want to see how the soda inventory did on that day, and I can see only the things that are in the soda category, and we do total that out here at the top of the row. So very helpful information. And again, every report is exportable to PDF and CSV. If you have any filtering in place, then only what's filtered will actually export. How cool is that? So let's take a look at some of the other reports here. And I know we're going quickly again. We have people coming in and out. So just a reminder for those of you just joining us, do be using that Q&A button. We will be taking questions here in just a few minutes. So the category sales report, pretty much the same thing, except it is broken down category by category. So as I scroll through, you can see my products are clustered together one category at a time. The discounts report, this is going to give me a report of everything that's sold over a given date range that had a discount. So what Shopventory does is it will grab the receipt and say, hey, here's the receipt. You can go ahead and view that receipt, but here is what was discounted on that receipt. So you can go through and see what products were discounted. If you have an employee who is giving away very steep discounts to his friends, you're going to find out about that very, very quickly using this report. So sadly, we know of a few people who have actually been let go due to this report. Vendor sales report, so pretty much the same thing as the other two sales reports. This is just broken down by vendor instead of category. Now, vendors are the people who sell me my stuff. They are my suppliers. They are the people I order from to stock my store. So I'll show you how to set up those vendors, but you can get vendor-based reporting here in Shopventory. Now, in addition to the sales-based reports, we also offer inventory-based reports. For accountants, this tends to be their favorite, the main regular plain inventory report. This will show me a list of everything that is or was in stock at a given time. And by the way, I can set a precise time. So if I want to say end of last year, for instance, I can do December 31st at 11:59 p.m. You can get very, very specific here. So if I want to set a particular day and time, you can do that here in this report. So you can go through and you can see we report the total value, the potential revenue, potential profit. So especially come tax time, those are going to be very, very important numbers for you here. Inventory change reports. So this is going to give me a high-level overview of what changed in my inventory over a given time. So basically, I set a date range, and then Shopventory will say, okay, here's a list of everything where a change occurred. Every product that had a change, the variant, the SKU number, the location. Here's what you started with. Here's what was added, what was removed, what was restocked due to a refund, what was sold, your net change, and then your ending quantity. So Shopventory is giving you very detailed information on your products there. We also, by the way, offer our dead inventory report. This basically is just a list of anything that hasn't sold for a given amount of time. So I can say, hey, Shopventory, show me anything that hasn't sold for 3 weeks, 21 days or more. And I can pull that report and it will show me every product that has not had a sale over that time period. And we went over the low inventory report, so we'll skip to the stock forecast report. This is available on our professional and elite plans, but it is available also during your trial, so feel free to test it out if you're trialing with us here. So basically, Shopventory is looking through the inventory and it's saying, hey, this Alpine chocolate chip cookie at Main Street, you've got about 1 day left until you run out of stock on that product. And then you can click to view the report and it will show you a detailed report for that particular product. So I'll skip that for now since we're in demo mode here, and we will continue on the in-transit report, but I'll show you what that actually looks like on a product by product basis. So the in-transit report, this is if I'm transferring inventory between 2 or more locations. I can say, hey, this Declan Creek t-shirt in men's XL Crimson is going from my north location to my south location. 7 shirts have been sent, 0 shirts have been received. Therefore, there are 7 shirts that are still in transit. They're on the truck. They have left one location, but they've not yet been received at the other location. That's what this report will show you. And then we also have the total value of those shirts, just, in case there is some sort of an incident, I can report accurately to my insurance or to whomever and know the value of the lost inventory there. So I'm going to exit out of demo mode here because I do want to show you our new custom reports. So our custom reports, these allow you to build your own reports inside of Shopventory. Give me just a second here. I need to refresh the page coming out of demo mode. There we go. So for our custom reports, I can select what information I want to appear on my custom report. So for example, if I'm editing this report, I can add widgets to this particular report. And I can say, hey, I want to see my net sales, my refund, my sales tax, tips collected, any information here. We pretty much offer that here in Shopventory. So something like inventory change, for instance, that will show me the information from the inventory change report, so I can see how has my inventory been altered over time. Now, each of these you can also edit, so you can see I have different colors, different sizes available here. I can change the text color. I can also filter and say, hey, this is only going to be for this location or that location, or for this particular integration. So Clover, PayPal here, Square, Shopify, etc. Those are the integrations, and you can give this a custom title as well. So it's a really powerful set of tools that we've built here on those custom reports. Feel free to check those out. And you do get a certain number of custom reports with your plan. You can always enable more custom reports with a simple billing add-on. So I'll go over that here in just a bit. All right, very briefly, let's go to the main event. And let's check out the main inventory page here. And again, I know I'm going quickly, but do be using that Q&A button. We are collecting those questions, and we will be answering those for you here in just a bit. So a common question that we get here at Shopventory is, hey, does Shopventory work for a such and such kind of business? Does it work for a shoe store? Does it work for a liquor store, a hair salon, fill in the blank? So just want to kind of scroll through here, give you a sense. Chances are, if you buy something wholesale and you sell it retail in any way, we can probably help. So we have things, for instance, like different flavors, different strengths, different sizes, different colors. So you can definitely feel free to go through. And by the way, we do have our bundles. So that little icon lets you know it's a bundle. So we do have bundles that let you, for instance, dissect a pack. So if I receive a 24 pack, I can turn that into a 12 pack and a 6 pack respectively. So Shopventory really gives you a lot of options here when building out your inventory. So just for our purposes here, let's go ahead and create a quick product that we can play around with here. So I can show you the product creation process. So let's create a product. And we'll just create a simple t-shirt just so we can see how this is done. So we'll do a quick t-shirt here. And we'll set up our product image. If I search for t-shirt, I can select an image. And by the way, you can also manage multiple images at a time here. So I can enable 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 more images here. So we can go ahead and manage those images. We'll put this into a category. We'll just say apparel. And you can create more than one category. So I can put this into clothing, for instance, or men's clothing, or just men's. So up to you how specific you want to get, but you can create multiple categories here inside of Shopventory and apply them. If you have a web store, by the way, you can also add a description here. So we'll just say real comfy tees. Now you can add links, you can format this, you can bold, you can highlight, you can add links, links to videos, etc. So feel free to set that up. It will show up on your website if you have an e-commerce integration such as Shopify or WooCommerce. Now this active toggle, this just means, hey, I do want this to appear on our point of sale. So do send that out. We are selling it. Vendors, I can assign vendors here or from the vendors tab. It's pretty self-explanatory here. I'll show you how to do it in the vendors tab. But let's go through and create some variants. And actually, just before we do that, I should touch on our new notes field. So these are internal notes that are only visible to you and your employees. They will only show up in Shopventory. So if there is something that you want to note, feel free to add that there in the notes section inside of Shopventory. So let's go ahead and add a variant. So Shopventory gives us a few options when adding variants. You may have seen there was an option to generate variants here. Let me see if I remove this. So I already hit the add variant button, but we do have the option to generate variants inside of Shopventory. And that just means that I'm going to set attributes, and then I'm going to fill those in. So I'll create a second version of this here, so you can see that process. So we'll keep it simple for now. So we'll just say small, and another one called medium, and another one called large. Now I can have Shopventory generate a SKU number here. All you have to do is just click on the SKU field or the generate SKU link. Now this number is in a UPCA compliant format. So that means it can be turned into a barcode. So Shopventory automatically generates UPCA compliant SKUs. Now the rule here is that SKUs have to be unique. Barcodes can be the same. So I can assign the barcode of 1234 and 1234 to both of these. Also, it's perfectly fine to leave them blank. We'll just leave the large variant blank for now. So for the price, we will set our price at $19.99. Whoops. Always want to end your prices with a 9. And that's not a requirement. That's just usually good advice. $7.25, we'll say we paid for each of these shirts. And then we can set our par levels here as well as our reorder quantities. So let me just go ahead and touch on that real quick. So this shows it very well, actually, this little diagram we have here. So let's see if I can get that more in focus. There we go. So empty shelf, full shelf. So full shelf, this is our reorder quantity. When we order, we want to get to this number, this quantity on the shelf. We want to stay in this green field here, but once it hits the par level is my minimum. So if we're below par level, then the next time I create a purchase order for this product, Shopventory will know, hey, it's below par, we should add it automatically. The alert level, that is me saying, hey, now I want to be notified once it gets to this level. And then obviously we want to avoid getting out of stock unless that is a product that we are no longer going to be reordering and we do want to get rid of it. So we'll go ahead and close that. So we'll set our par level at 10 and we'll say our reorder quantity is 24. All right. So if I need to remove one of these variants or duplicate it or convert it to a bundle, that little gear wheel right there, that's going to give me those options. So down here, I can select which locations is this enabled at. So here I have my 3rd Avenue, Broadway, and Main Street. I'm going to say, you know what, we're not going to carry it at Main Street, and we're not going to carry it at Broadway, only at 3rd Avenue. And then here are my integrations. So these are the integrations that I have connected to 3rd Avenue. I have Square Location A and Shopify e-commerce. So those are the integrations that I have enabled. I can turn this on or off. So I can say, hey, this is only going to be pushed to Square, or this is only going to be for our online store via Shopify. Up to you, but if you have more than one integration at a location, that's how you would set it up. Now I can also set my quantities here. We'll go ahead and skip that for now. Make sure my tax rates are applied. Shipping does require shipping. We'll say each shirt weighs about 1.2 pounds. There we go. So now we can go ahead and save and create another product, or we can just save it for now. Shopventory is going to say, hey, you didn't put in stock counts. Would you like to put in stock counts? So we'll go ahead and add those now. And we'll just say this is a manual adjustment. And we're going to have 12 of each size in stock. All right, so that's getting saved here. And there we go. So now if I go back to my main inventory list, I should be able to search for t-shirt. And there it is. So, whoops, I think, yep, looks like I had another version already created here. Let me delete that other one. Sorry about that. Again, one of the perils of doing it live here. So we'll go ahead and confirm. There we go. So something that I should also mention is if I do carry this at more than one location, I may not want the exact same price at each location here. So what I can do is, let's say I'm also going to carry this at Broadway, but I want to put a different price for Broadway. So I'll turn it on, I'll enable those two integrations, and you can see this use defaults toggle is turned off by default. I can turn it on and say, hey, use what's up here in the defaults, just to use these prices and these costs. Or I can say, you know what, I'm going to set a custom price for these products. I want them to be a little more. So first off, let's just copy the default values there. And then I'm going to set this to $25.99. It's a much more affluent part of town. People are willing to pay more for stuff. So why not? And there we go. So I can go ahead and save that. And now it'll be available at the Broadway location for a different price than what I sell it for at the 3rd Avenue location. All right, let's go back here. And there we go. So you can see Broadway has $25.99. 3rd Avenue has $19.99. All right, so very briefly, let's go over some of the options here, and we'll just filter this real quick so that we only look at the 3rd Avenue location. By the way, you can also apply multiple filters here. I can filter by which integrations are enabled, by alerts, whether things are running low or not, active or inactive, in stock, out of stock, recently created, and of course, categories as well as vendors here. So I can filter by any number of criteria. So for now, we'll just apply that 3rd Avenue filter. And then we'll go to actions here. So we can edit or add quantities to this inventory. So let's say edit. And actually, let's filter for just the Broadway location, because we never set a quantity when we first created it. So we'll say we have 15 of each size shirt at the Broadway location. Now I can also enter a note when I use this method. So I'll just say received shipment. I can save that, and it will update my quantities. And also, if you click on that quantity in blue, it will show you a time-stamped history of every single change that's ever been made on that product. If I added a note, you can see it was me, and I added the note and what note I added. So that is very, very handy, especially when researching history here. If I go, for instance, to the Coca-Cola product, oops, let's filter for 3rd Avenue here. So if I go to my Coca-Cola product, for instance, I can see that full detailed history here. Every sale that's taken place, I can click to view the receipt. I can see I received this many 120 units on a purchase order and see which purchase order that was here. So by the way, this also is the individual stock remaining estimate for this Coca-Cola. So if I click to view the report, it will show me the stock report for just that particular Coca-Cola here. And I can see the details on how Shopventory is calculating that estimated stock. All right, so let's go ahead and head back here. We can also pull up our t-shirt first and filter for 3rd Avenue. So we can also, in addition to editing quantities, we can add quantities to what's already there. And so I can say, for instance, let's say add 5 to each size here. And because we ordered fewer this time, we got charged more per shirt. So we're getting charged $8 per shirt now for these incoming 5 units. So I'll say the same thing here. Received shipment. And that. So you can see now this changed here. So before it was 725, now it's 725, and then 8 below here. So if I click, I can see the lot history. So this is the cost history on this product. I can see that these first 12 units came in. There are still 12 of them on the shelf. We haven't sold any, and these 12 came in at $7.25. And then another 5 came in, 5 of which are still remaining, and these came in at $8 per shirt. So Shopventory is giving me a much more accurate view of my cost and profit over time here. So we do have a few other functions here. You can initiate a transfer from this page. Let's go over transfers really quickly here. So if actually, let's use a draft here. So if I have the same product at 2 locations, I can say, hey, I'm sending from this location to that location, and then I can select which products are available for me to send. So Shopventory allows you to create those transfers and to receive inventory that way. That way I can see what is actually being transferred here and view the total inventory. So once it's in an open status, I can see that it's in an open status. I can see what is on the truck, when is it expected to arrive, and I can see all that information here inside of Shopventory. So I can see when that's expected. All right. And by the way, I can see anything that is overdue as well. We have a number of different states. I can also just see all my completed transfers from history here. So if you like to keep a paper trail, Shopventory is going to be a very helpful tool for you here. And by the way, every single one of these, whether it's an open status or a draft, I can download this to a PDF, for example. That way I can print it out and send it to my vendors or to my employees or to whomever I need to see that information. All right, and just a reminder, do be using that Q&A button here as you have questions. I see folks are still coming in and out of the session here. So real quick in the actions, we've seen edit, add, transfer. This we don't really have to worry about at the moment. One thing that I do want to point your attention to is this option to print, SKU, and barcode labels. So this is a very, very popular function here because basically I can say, hey, Shopventory, I need to print labels for this. You can see we have sizes for Dymo printers or Brother printers. We also have Avery label sizes as well if you just have a regular plain old desktop printer. So check out your size paper here and just select that. And actually, we'll go with that, 30334. So I can also filter on this list. So basically, I'm selecting products that I want to add to the print list here. Let's go ahead and apply a filter. Let's say only things that are in the clothing category should show up here. There we go. So I can go ahead and say plus if I want to add, minus if I want to subtract. I can also search by keyword here. So only my t-shirt. Let's search for that. So plus or minus, or I can just say, hey, add all matches to the print list, and all of them will be added there. And you'll see that inside of Shopventory here for other functions as well when I need to select products. So this large t-shirt, if you'll recall, we did not put a SKU number on that. So that's why it shows that this is not valid because there is nothing in the SKU field. So it cannot generate a barcode out of nothing. So with that, let's go ahead and download this printable label sheet. And again, this will be in PDF format. So I can go ahead and open that up. And here is what that will look like. Just takes a second to load. There we go. So those are now scannable barcodes, and they are formatted precisely for that label size, the Dymo 30334 size labels. Whoop, too far. There we go. So at this point, I can send them off to the printer, or I can store that PDF for later use. And you can also set your quantity. So if I want to print 10 of these or 20 of those or whatever, feel free to put in a different quantity than just the one that's there. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and cancel out of this. All right, and let's touch briefly on the bulk upload as well. So bulk upload, this basically means, hey, Shopventory, I want to use a spreadsheet to make changes to my inventory. So there are different functions that can be done via spreadsheet. For instance, creating products, editing variants. So I would recommend this if you're editing things like SKU, barcode, That typically tends to be the most all-encompassing, but we have all kinds of different functions. We do also have the option to create vendors in bulk or purchase orders in bulk. Those can be accessed from those respective sections of Shopventory. But we have a direct integration with Google Sheets, so you don't have to worry about, downloading the wrong file, or, well, I saved a CSV, or I'm using, Office 2003 or whatever. No worries on that. Just copy, paste, upload, boom. Very, very simple, those spreadsheet functions. So we'll touch briefly on the categories and tax rates up here. Categories, you can edit, delete, assign categories to your products here. So again, this is that selection screen. If I want to assign my basketball to the accessories category, boom, there we go. So we'll cancel out of that. Tax rates, you can manage tax rates. You can and should manage tax rates from Shopventory. So if you haven't already, definitely take a moment to go to the tax rates page and make sure everything is cleaned up. Sometimes we see a lot of multiple different tax rates that are all the same percentage and they apply to multiple different locations. I only need one tax rate here and I can just turn that on for multiple locations. And boom, that tax rate is now active at multiple locations. And we also have the option to apply tax rates to all the products at a location, so I can do that all in bulk. By the way, if you are joining us from overseas or you're watching this afterward, first of all, thanks for considering Shopventory. Second, yes, we do offer value-added tax, so VATs. Sometimes they're called goods and sales tax, or use tax, or but if you are overseas, you know exactly what this is. If you are in the US, this is very rarely seen in the US. It's not recommended for US users. It basically just means that your taxes are factored into the prices of your products and not added to the prices of your products. So just a heads up on that. You're welcome to try it, but it's not recommended. All right, so briefly, let's also touch quickly on bundles. So you heard me mention bundles. A bundle really is just a product made out of another product or another set of products. So for example, my cheeseburger. Very straightforward here. My cheeseburger requires beef and cheese and bread, and I can add other things too. But if I go to manage the bundle here, I can see that I have a cheddar slice with 100 slices of cheddar, and I use 0.01 packages of that cheddar. I use one beef burger patty. I use 0.08 packs of my 12-pack of buns. So Shopventory has the option to do that. Oh, and also, we do also have the ability to manage the assembly cost as well. So I can say, hey, you know what? It costs me about 50 cents to put this burger together. So I want you to factor that into the cost. So I can factor in my employment costs. So very, very helpful tools there inside of Shopventory to track those kinds of things. And it's not just for food either. So if I have things like alternate pricing options, if I have a wholesale versus retail price, for instance, I can set up a wholesale version and a retail version that actually use the exact same product. So here I have my All Pro basketball. I have regular price and I have wholesale price. And my wholesale price, as you can see, that little icon there, it is a bundle. So if I go to manage the bundle, I can see it's just one regular price basketball that goes into that bundle. So that's how I would set that up. So Shopventory, and again, all you have to do is just click convert to bundle, and that just says, hey, this is actually a product made from other products, and then you can select the ingredients or the components of that bundle here. So you can see we have a range of different options, so things like a starter pack or a gift pack or something like that if there are multiple pieces of inventory. I can also break things down. So for instance, I have my Coors Light 24 pack. I also have my 12 pack and my 6 pack, but I get my 24 packs, and then from there, I create my 12 packs and 6 packs. So you can see the 24 pack is a non-bundle item. It's a regular item. If I go to my 12 pack, manage bundle, I can see I use 1/2, so 0.5 24 packs in order to create one 12 pack. In order to create the 6 pack, it's 0.25 or 1/4 of a 24 pack to create the 6 pack. So just turn it into a decimal. So 1/12, 1/5, 1/2, 1/48, 1 divided by fill in the blank, and that'll give you your decimal point. So just plug that into a calculator and you'll get exactly what you need. Now we do have, food, lattes. I can, track cups, spoons, lids, that kind of thing. Pinot Noir. So if I sell wine by the bottle and by the glass, I can go ahead and set that up in Shopventory. I can have a regular bottle and then a glass, which is a bundle that uses 0.25 bottles in order to create a single glass. How cool is that? So if you have questions about bundles, we actually have a really, really helpful guide in our help docs. And by the way, if you just click on this I for information here, that will take you to our help articles here. And I can search for just about anything in Shopventory. Chances are we do have a step-by-step guide to it. So I can watch a video on bundles or read through the examples here. We also do have a quick video on the function of bundles that kind of goes through that and holds your hand and creates some examples. So I would definitely recommend checking that out if you're interested in bundles a bit more. And again, that little blue chat icon, that is there for you as well. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and head back to the main inventory page here. And just have a couple more functions to get through. So vendors, these are the people who sell me my stuff. So these are my suppliers. These are the people I'm ordering stuff from. So for instance, I have the ABC Soda Company. I can see which locations do they service and do they not service. So I see it's enabled for Main Street and 3rd Avenue, but not for Broadway. Tags, these are like categories for vendors. They just really help keep things organized. You can also search by tags on this main page here. The website, you can put a link to their website. If you click on this little link icon, it'll actually take you to that in a separate tab. Contact information, all of this is optional, but you can put in whatever contact information you have. And then here we can set our fulfillment day. So here I'm saying it takes them 2 days to put it on the truck, and then it takes the truck a day to get here. So that gets factored into Shopventory here. Address, so I can have their address listed here. That's important if I'm sending them the actual purchase order. So we do recommend filling that in. And notes, talk with Sam or Carmen, free shipping if I'm ordering $150 or more, and ask about their monthly specials. That's very helpful information if I'm about to place an order here. Now here I can also assign products to their corresponding vendor. So if I hit edit products down there, it'll pop up this list and say, hey, here's everything that's available at those 2 enabled locations. What do you want to assign to this vendor? So I can see I have Coke and Sprite. Do I have Diet Coke here? Yeah, so I can assign my Diet Coke to this vendor, or I can unassign it from that vendor. So let's go ahead, and with that, we can actually create purchase orders. So I'm here in the purchase orders section. And by the way, just a pro tip, you can also access internal transfers up here. But external orders, these are purchase orders that I am sending to my vendors. So let's create a quick PO here. And we will select the ABC Soda Company. We're going to bill it and ship it to Broadway. Actually, let's bill it to the Broadway location. So you can set different options for billing and shipping. Shipping, that's the one that will actually have the inventories. That's where it will pull the inventory from. Excuse me. All right, so I can say, hey, I expect to receive this by next Friday. And you can put in any fees or freight if they charge fees or freight. Those 2 are optional. I can also add any products that are below par. If I click that button, it'll look. Right now, no products were found that are assigned to that vendor and that are at the 3rd Avenue location and that are below par. You can also say, hey, auto add any products that are running low. So that's just par levels and alerts. Will automatically be added. And if there is a reorder quantity, it will fill in that reorder quantity for you here. So let's go ahead and we'll just do Coca-Cola. So we'll add those. Done. So if Coca-Cola was below par and I had a reorder quantity set, my maximum set, then it would pre-fill the quantity here. But as it stands, they are within their par levels here. So we'll say we're going to order, oops, 14 2 liters, 120 bottles, and 180 cans. And I can say, hey, you know what? My cost has actually gone down on the bottles here. So it's no longer 229, it's now 222. So you can set a different cost for this lot, and that lot will update just for these 14 units. I can also put in a discount. If I'm getting some sort of a discount here, I can say I'm getting 5 cents off in addition to that reduced cost. Or you know what, I'm also getting a 3% discount. Or in this case, it would be a 5% discount to match the 5 cents off per unit. Well, assuming it's $1. But anyway, you can set those discount amounts here. You can also put in a tax rate. So if I say, you know what, 4.358% tax, whatever you'd like, we do calculate that out here in the PO. Now, it's perfectly fine if you don't pay taxes on wholesale purchases. That's the case in a lot of states. So you can leave that tax rate blank as well. We'll put a quick message to the vendor here. Oops. Have a nice little keyboard shortcut there. Hi, Sam, please deliver before 11 a.m. Go through the back this time. Make sure Joel signs off. So I can save this as a draft for now, and that means I can come right back into it if necessary. And I can also create this purchase order. Now, once you create a PO, it can no longer be edited. Those quantities are finalized. So there it is, purchase order number 25. Now, I can mark this as paid once it's in that open status. So it's now a paid PO. And then let's say the delivery boy just pulled up. So I'm going to receive inventory here. And we'll hit receive all quantities if it all looks good. I can also receive less than what I ordered. And that just means that the purchase order will be marked as partially received. So we'll hit done and we'll save and adjust those quantities here. And there we go. So Shopventory is saying, hey, looks like you just received inventory. Do you want to add SKU and barcode labels, or do you want to print SKU or barcode labels? For now, we'll continue without printing. And there we go. So now purchase order number 25, oops, should be in the completed section right there. So I can always go back and revisit that if I need to. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our Coca-Cola. Coca, there we go. And there we go. So 120 units of bottles were received on purchase order number 25, and I can see who was logged in when they made that update here. Now this, again, is exportable to PDF and CSV. That also goes for the cost history here. So for my cost history, it should show, yeah. So I have, oh, this is for the 2 liters. So we received some discounts on that one. Let's go here. There we go. So you can always go through and see your history inside of Shopventory. Now, really quick, I just want to touch on the settings here, and then we will take your questions. Looks like we've been getting a few good ones here. Again, just be using that Q&A button. So in the settings, this is where I would go to locations and integrations to manage my location. So you can see here at 3rd Avenue, I have 2 integrations connected, Square and Shopify. I can go to other ones and see here, you know, what I have connected. If I need to create a new location, very simple to create a location. Accounting, this is where I can go to connect my QuickBooks, and basically Shopventory every night will send over a nightly sales report to QuickBooks. Unfortunately, that is just from now on going forward. So when you connect QuickBooks going forward, we will send those sales reports every night. So my user profile, this is where I can set my email preferences. We do recommend you visit this here and set what email preferences you'd like. Company info, this is where you can upload your business logo and select your currency. We have over 35 different currency options to choose from if you're watching from overseas, so feel free to check that out. Average cost calculations. So this this is very advanced. So it's very rare that a company actually needs average costs. So it's only recommended for users who actually require cost averaging. And that, again, is very rare to find. So if you're not sure you need cost averaging, but it sounds nice, you probably don't need cost averaging. It means we will give you your averages as opposed to your true costs. So just a heads up on that. Now, we'll leave that off. There we go. So if we go to our billing here, this is where we can go ahead and select our subscription. Unfortunately, the internal plans are only for us for testing purposes here. You can select your plan here in Shopventory. Only one paid plan should be active on a paid subscription. If you see that there are multiple paid subscriptions on there, definitely feel free to get in contact with us, but only one should be on a paid subscription. You may see more than one. That is because your provider, you may be getting billed through your provider. So we'll let you know if that's the case. Add-ons, this is where I can select and add more add-ons here. So for instance, if I need 10 more custom reports on my plan or additional users, or if I want to add the QuickBooks integration, which by the way, this is included on the professional and elite plans here. And I believe the custom reports, I think that is unlimited on certain plans. I'd have to double check our pricing page here. We recently had some updates to our pricing and plan offerings. So feel free to check it out, shopventory.com/pricing. Payment methods, last but not least, this is where I can set my credit cards here. So access control, this is where I can go to manage my users. So who has access to my business? I can go in here and I can see who is set up. So Abby, my cashier, she has access to update the stock counts and the prices, to receive POs, and to receive internal transfers, and that's it. She doesn't have access to anything else, and she only has that access at the 3rd Avenue location. So feel free to look through and set those custom user permissions here. And again, if you need more users on your plan, you don't necessarily have to upgrade your plan. You can just add a billing add-on, and that will enable it. So with that, we will go ahead and begin taking questions here. So I will turn it over to my faithful colleague, Mr. Joe Barlow.
Okay, thanks, Jacques. I'm going to reiterate some of the questions that came in during our chat here for the sake of the recording, and everyone else on the call here who didn't see those. So the first question is about costs changing. So if I buy an item for $10 today and then tomorrow it changes to $8, will I be able to see this in my inventory or keep track of it at all?
All right, fantastic. Yes, so that is going to be in the cost history here. So basically, every time I receive a product, let's stick with that Coca-Cola. Every time I receive a product, I can set the cost for the lot that came in. We refer to that as the lot cost. So I can see that these units, these 119 units, came in at a cost of 71 cents. I can see that these 120 units came in at a cost of 71 cents. If I go back here, I can see how my costs have changed over time. So every time I receive inventory into Shopventory, I'm saying, hey, these units came in at this cost. So Shopventory is really, really helpful in terms of determining exactly what did I pay for these products that I'm receiving here and how have my costs changed over time. So we do factor that in on the sales report. If I have, 2 or 3 separate lots across a date range, Shopventory is saying, okay, these products are being calculated at this, these products are being calculated at this. We assume it's a first in, first out basis in terms of cost, and that is industry standard. But again, we do offer that cost averaging if that is a requirement for you. All right, great questions.
All right, so I have some plans to open a new location this year. And historically, that's been a pretty difficult process. Is that going to be any easier with Shopventory on board?
Oh, yes. That is definitely going to be easier here. So let's go ahead and go to our settings here. We'll just pretend to do this here. So let's create a new location. And we will call it a new location. I can set phone number, address, time zone, etc. But all I have to do is just create that. And there we go. I have a new location set up. And what I can say is, hey, why don't we go ahead and clone products from another location. So I'm just going to copy the inventory list, let's say from my 3rd Avenue location into a new location. So I can choose, hey, copy the stock counts, yes or no. Typically the answer to that is no, but that way I can just copy the list of inventory, then I can connect an empty Clover, empty Square, empty Shopify. I can connect an empty integration to this new location, and then I can just push it all out. So Shopventory makes that very, very easy if you're adding new locations. Just boom, create, clone, connect, export. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to get in touch. It's a pretty straightforward process, but there are some questions sometimes that arise. So if you're not sure, definitely feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to walk you through that process. But yeah, very, very simple to create a new location with Shopventory.
All right, and I know you have some options listed there on the happy to help page, but what kind of assistance can I get for getting started, like right off the bat, getting my account set up properly the first time?
Okay, so actually, this is where our sales team comes in. So our sales team will reach out to you after you sign up. That's not anything that you have to request. They just automatically do it. When you sign up for Shopventory, you put in your phone number, you will get a call at that number from us. So we do have time set aside with the sales team for you. So we will help you get set up. We will make sure that everything is set up for success here. If you do need a more one-on-one, hands-on touch to where, hey, you know what, I've got a lot of questions, I really need some hand-holding here, we are happy to do that. It is a paid service though, so it is a one-on-one training. So if it's beyond those 15 minutes with the sales team to where you have a very unique use case, or you just have a lot of staff members that you need to get on the same page, we do offer these one-on-one training sessions. So if you go to shopventory.com/personalized onboarding, that is going to be a place where you can learn more about our personalized onboarding sessions. Basically, it's a 45-minute session, and we would record that session just like we're doing here, but we would be using your account's data. We would answer all your questions. We record that session, and then we get that video to you, and just you. We don't post that publicly, but we get that video file to you, so you have that and you can refer to it multiple times going forward. If Shopventory 101 is really not what you needed, you say, you know what, I have so many questions that are specific to my account. I have this really unique use case. Definitely feel free to set up a personalized session. It's very reasonably priced, so feel free to check that out here. We're more than happy to get that set up for you.
All right, question here about syncing. So if I edit my item description in Shopventory, will that sync to Shopify? And vice versa, if I edit it in Shopify, will that sync back?
So first part, yes. If you edit your item description in Shopventory, it will push out to Shopify. Any change I make inside of Shopventory will automatically sync to my integrations here. So let me go ahead and really briefly point you towards an article that touches on this. So this article is very aptly named How Shopventory Syncs. And this will walk you through the details and the mechanics of how Shopventory syncs. But basically, you're going to want to make your inventory updates in Shopventory, because if you change something on the Shopify side of things, that information does not come back to us until that product sells, or if there is some kind of a change in Shopventory. So if after I change the description, I change a price in Shopventory, we will push it out and we will correct it back to what we have. So we recommend all changes, updates, additions to inventory. If you're changing a price, receiving a shipment, setting your item description, whatever it might be, do it inside of Shopventory, and that change will automatically be made on your point of sale, your e-commerce provider. And that goes for Shopify, for Square, Clover, PayPal here, WooCommerce, anything and everything you have connected to Shopventory. If you make the change in Shopventory, if I delete a product in Shopventory, it will delete from my point of sale. So just a heads up on that. But yeah, I'm very glad you brought that up. Definitely check out this article. Again, it's How Shopventory Syncs.
All right, looks like just one more question for now, unless we get another one in. And that is, I noticed that the pricing looks a little bit different if I go to shopventory.com versus the integration app page for Shopventory. Are those different plans, or why am I seeing different numbers there?
So yes, I'm guessing you're inside the Clover App Store. There is a reason for that. So let me go ahead and open up a fresh tab here, and let's just go to shopventory.com/pricing. So on Clover, I'm guessing you're seeing, for instance, 49 versus 39. The reason for that is right here, this little toggle. So that should match what you see in Clover. This is what is annual. So basically, we have two different options here. If you pay month to month with Shopventory, then you do pay a little more because you're paying once per month, every month. If you pay annually, then we do give a discount for that. So that means I pay once per year. It is more per year, or it is more upfront, but overall I end up saving money. So if I pay for the starter, for instance, I would pay $467, but I only pay that once per year, and that saves me $120 per year. So that is probably the difference between the pricing that you're seeing on your provider and the pricing that you're seeing inside of Shopventory. So feel free if, by the way, you are curious and you would like some information about moving to an annual plan, you don't see that option, definitely feel free to get in touch. We're more than happy to assist in getting that annual plan set up for you here.
All right, looks like that's all we have for now, Jacques. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you all so very much. And do feel free to reach out. Again, if you have any questions, we're more than happy to help. Again, just start a chat with us here. We will be more than happy to assist. And again, feel free to search through our help section here as well. We do have all kinds of step-by-step guides and tutorials. We will post the video of today's session here. Just search for Shopventory 101 in the help section, and you should see that video there, hopefully by the end of today, if not early tomorrow morning. But thanks so much, and make it a great day today.